Greetings everybody, I am Alt F4 and welcome to Wolfinia. This is episode 271 of my Minecraft survival series, and last episode we spent some time clearing out some land over here, adding to the land we've already cleared out previously, doing like a little pincer maneuver to try to get some of this stuff gone. Now, we were not only ridding ourselves of land masses last episode, we were also trying to rid ourselves of some of the, the nonsense those land masses are built out of. Focusing mainly on the one resource that we have way too much of, stone. So, we made an addition over here in the enchanted pickaxe in the mason area here in the back to try to get rid of some of this stone by selling it to the masons. Well, in making this, I made a little boo-boo. As you can see, we didn't really get a ton of stone into here because I forgot something. You see, when I was over here building our stone diversion system in the last episode, I left out a crucial element, this trapdoor right here. And without the trapdoor, we're having some stone just kind of flow on through here, skip this area, and go down to overflow. Instead of going through all the, all this nonsense, all the rigmarole of, making its way down to the mason area first. So some items went over there, which meant some of the item relocation we did last episode was pointless. Now, all these pieces of stone over here in overflow don't do much for us. I'd like to actually move them somewhere useful, So I think that's how we're going to start off this episode, by doing more item relocation. Now, what I'd really like to do this time is do a little bit more than what I did last episode. We're not just going to rehash that. I really do want to clear this area out. I want all the stone out of here because we gotta put it somewhere where it's more useful to us, right? So, at this point, let's go ahead and call the drone on over here, put on a little bit of music, and get to work. Welcome back, everybody. At this point, we do have some of our nonsense over here taken out. The nonsense removal is completed as far as the stone goes. Let me go ahead and remove this nonsense over here before I forget about this as well. But yeah, significantly less chests and hoppers over here. I mean, we do still have a lot of, nonsense storage. For instance, over here, we have tons and tons of dirt. I do have a plan for that, though, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I gotta say, it does feel good having all this cleared out. Now, as far as what that got us, I did place a lot of the stone in here manually. Just ran my shulker boxes over here because, the storage system is full. The storage system is still running. We're still having more and more stone run into here. But, as far as what we've got over here so far, pretty decent amount of stone. And the storage system will continue to work. It'll continue to fill this thing up, and we'll get even more stone in here. Which means eventually we'll get more emeralds. Now, because profits are now at the top of my mind, I'm thinking it's time to increase our capability to sell more stone by bringing more masons over, so that way we have more masons to sell stone to, right? So at this point, what we're going to do is go ahead and put these guys to work. What are y'all doing crammed over there? Weirdos. So before we get into what I really want to get into in this episode, I am going to go ahead and relocate some villagers, probably get a little villager trading in as well, as long as you guys are down for it. You guys ready? Yeah, you're ready. All right, at this point, we're going to bring some masons over. I do need to get some stone cutters and all that mess, so that way we can, owie, cement these guys in as masons. So at this point, let's go ahead and call the drone on over here, put on a little bit of music, and get to work. Hey, look at that, 100 levels. Excellent. Hey, y'all did great work today. You know what? I'm proud of y'all. I really am proud of them. They did a great job today. Made me some money. Made me some emeralds. I think what we're probably going to do is make them our primary way to get emeralds from now on. I do need to get rid of some of this stone. We'll give the guys over at Dunder Minecraft and at the farmer's market a break for a little while. So now that we got that sorted, I do want to give some more thought to the storage system here. Not really the storage itself, but like these incomplete areas, these random openings. I'm thinking we could probably do something with some of these. Crap! So as I was saying, I'm thinking we could, use some of these random holes in the wall in the storage system to kind of make paths to other areas of Wolfinia. I mean, you guys know I like to have different areas of the city linked up, right? And the storage system is a very important part of the city, and I would like to be able to access it from different areas of the city even more than we can now. So what I'm thinking is that this area down here is very nearby one area of the business district of Wolfinia. That area being the House of Leaves. And I do think I want to link it up to the House of Leaves. I'm thinking this might be a good episode to, maybe expand the House of Leaves a bit. So you guys know the House of Leaves is an ongoing project, one of the few projects here in the business district that is not yet complete. And this is a project that, it's been a while since I've touched, but it is just about time to get back to it, right? Because this is one of those projects, I remember telling y'all, I want the House of Leaves to be very expansive. And as of right now, it's somewhat expansive, but nowhere near where I want it to be. So I think at this time, I'm going to take a little bit of time to go ahead and start planning out our expansion a little bit. And we're going to go and start expanding out this way because we can't keep going straight because the nether worm is kind of blocking our path here. So yeah, just give me a few minutes and we'll see what we can manage. We got plenty of room here. So I mean, space isn't really a concern. Now, since the House of Leaves consists of walkways that are 3 blocks wide, we should also make our entrance into the House of Leaves from the storage system down here 3 blocks wide. Oh my goodness, let me out! just so we can maintain that, consistency as we move into the next area. So, I mean, minor concern. If we're doing this, I am going to have to kind of rework the path of this water stream right here, but that shouldn't be too big of an issue at all. Now, once we figure the paths we're going to take, once we figure out how exactly we're going to be expanding the House of Leaves in this episode, actually building it shouldn't be too much of an issue because we already know what the House of Leaves looks like, right? We're just going to be kind of expanding upon what we've already built. Now, we're not going to add any rooms to the House of Leaves today. What I'm mainly focused on are just getting the corridors in, and, we will have to make sure we do have some room to eventually add some rooms, because the House of Leaves is going to consist of several farms. And there's the first little bit of our expansion plan, connecting the House of Leaves over to the storage system, giving us a way to get back and forth between these areas. I also want to extend off in this direction towards Wolfen's Labs, the Botanical Analysis Division. And I also want to expand in this direction as well, because I did mention I need to do something with all this dirt we're accumulating, right? Well, I'm thinking a mud farm would be a good addition to this area, because this is pretty much right over where we have our overflow for like all our dirt nonsense. I mean, that should give us plenty of room for a mud farm over here. We're also going to reserve some space a little bit down this way to possibly add another farm over here, though I don't know what it would be. We do have plenty of room available to us, though, especially if we take out some of this grass right here. And we're also going to leave room for another area, possibly a farm over here. And this will also allow us to connect the House of Leaves over to the Botanical Analysis Division, over to Wolfen's Labs, over to the Quarantine District and all that mess. But I mean, that's not the extent to the House of Leaves. We're going to be expanding this further, but I don't think we have room to do it in this direction. So I am going to start carving a path this way as well, I think. Though we're not going to go, super far with it today. I do want to leave the possibility of expanding it further in the future. So at this point, you guys know the plan. We're doing a House of Leaves expansion, focusing on the corridors, the hallways, and all that mess, right? So, let's go ahead and get to it. Let's call the drone on over here, put on a little bit of music, and get to work. Welcome back, everybody. The House of Leaves has grown. We now have a way to access the House of Leaves from the storage system here. We do have, these other little corridors which will maybe lead somewhere eventually. But the House of Leaves is what we're focused on today. So if we make our way through this little corridor right here, we can step up into the grand area that is the House of Leaves. Now you can see we added a lot more lighting down here. I mean, it is still like shadowed in some parts. But it's a lot brighter than it was. We'll talk about that more in a minute. But you can see we have, these areas reserved for future farms and stuff like that. We have this area over here, which we talked about, which will link up to Wolfen's laboratory. And we have this area over here at the far end, which we are reserving for our mudroom. Now, I do want to start building this fairly soon because I do want to start working with mud, but that's not the focus today. The focus today is just the House of Leaves. So you can see we also connected this up to our moss area, which let's go ahead and turn that on for a little bit since we are in this area. I should have had it running. But then we have this area of the House of Leaves. This area is reserved for a future undetermined farm, and if we want to expand, we can always expand this way because we have plenty of room to do so. And I would like to expand further in the future, but, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here because we still got a little bit more to do here. I was talking about the light levels. You can see the difference in light levels as we go from this area over here to this area back here. Now, I did originally intend for the House of Leaves to be fairly dark, but you know what? I think I do prefer having a little bit more light in here. I mean, maybe we could throw some light like over these doorways here. We do have room to do that. That might actually work. That might give us just the right amount of light that we want without really overdoing it. Possibly. And we can throw some light over these doors as well. And that means I can get rid of these things I was going to put in because they would be unnecessary at this point, right? All right. Right. Yeah, just agree with me, okay? Let's see how it looks. And I think that's probably going to be good. Yeah, I like it. And then as far as the main floor goes, we can throw a little bit of lighting up here as well. I think that's good. And then, I don't know, do we want anything over here on the upper floor? I mean, I don't think so. I don't want anybody coming up here anyway, right? This is like private area. Keep out. So, I mean, obviously there's still a lot more to do here at the House of Leaves, but I don't think we're going to touch the House of Leaves anymore today. In fact, I know we're not going to touch it anymore today because we're pretty much done for the day. I don't know that we're going to mess with it next episode either because there is still a lot of other stuff that needs to be done here in Wolfinia. In fact, there is a lot of stuff that needs to be done outside of Wolfinia as well. And, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done all around Wolfinia. So, yeah, we'll figure out how we want to approach this. Because I am just all over the place right now. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please be sure to hit that little thumbs up button. That would mean a whole lot to me. And if you want to see more of Wolfinia, please remember to subscribe. But as always, I just want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I deeply appreciate it. And until next time, I am Shift Windows Key S, and I will see you guys later.